What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Wild Rift video, and today we're going to be analyzing the new patch notes. Wild Rift patch 2.1b is coming out very soon, and I finally got in touch with Riot. I'm talking to a community manager and I get the patch notes early now, as well as some other YouTubers. So keep in mind, these patch notes are going to be German because it's a German community manager that I'm talking to. I'm going to try to get them in English for the next time, but for this time I'll just have to translate as we go through this together. And of course, this video will come out right at the same time as Riot officially releases their patch notes, so you can just go check their Twitter and you can read them in English if you prefer to read them yourself after this video, or you know, whatever, if you just want to go through them again in your own tempo. But yeah, let's get right into it. This is very exciting. We have 3 new champions coming out during the span of this patch, and also that new Ascension event. So let's check out the new champions first. We have Leona. And yeah, of course, with her, Diana coming in as well, and Pantheon will come during this patch as well. But let's get back to Leona. I will, as always, give you a little bit of a rundown how these champions will play, and if I think they're gonna be good or not in this current meta. Now, Leona, I think first of all, she is a very tanky CC heavy support. She's all about those stuns. She's all about engaging. She's all about finding those picks with her very long range stun ultimate. She basically calls down a solar strike, and if you're good at it, it's pretty hard to hit, I would say, because it's only a small area where it actually stuns, and everything around it, it's like a circle, just slows the enemies. But if you can hit that stun, you can follow up with her lance, where she can stun the enemy briefly and gap close onto them, then smack them in the face with her beautiful shield here, which will stun them again. And yeah, you can just imagine, this is a very tanky support. Think something like Alistar, similar playstyle, a little bit more range to engage with. And yeah, I think she is, I'm hoping that she's gonna shake up the meta. I hope she's gonna be insanely strong, so we get her every single game, because honestly, she is annoying to play against. But I just think these tank engage heavy supports are much more fun to see in Wild Rift, in League of Legends in general, than these Enchanter supports. And right now, it's a little bit of an Enchanter meta. I know Braum and Alistar are very strong, but you know, you still have Lulu, you still have Janna, even Nami being very strong right now in the meta, which just promotes a little bit of a slower gameplay in the dual lane. So I'm really excited for this one. If you're a support main, definitely the one to check out here. Moving on to Diana. Leona is the sun, Diana is the moon counterpart, and Diana is a full AP assassin, okay? She will be able to go mid lane for sure. That's where she's usually played on the PC version. She will probably be able to jungle, maybe even Baron lane. But yeah, these 3 roles, but mostly should be, for the most part, a mid laner. And yeah, she is gonna be super fun. I will definitely be playing her a lot. So make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell if you don't want to miss these upcoming Diana gameplays. But yeah, she is all about applying a long-range skill shot onto the enemies, where she can apply like a moon stack onto them. And then she has a gap closer on her 3rd ability, which if she uses it on an enemy that got hit, that has a moon stack on them, then she can reset the cooldown of it. So it's all about jumping around and resetting your cooldown on that 3rd ability, and yeah, just one-shotting people. Absolutely insane. And her ultimate pulls everyone together around her on the enemy team, so you have like an Orianna ult, but it's on yourself. So it's gonna be crazy, okay? It's gonna be a very fun champ. I saw a little preview. I saw her ult range is unreal. Like, it's way too big. I don't know if that was a bug or something, but if that's the case, I feel like she's gonna be absolutely broken. But yeah, we'll see. I'll definitely be checking her out as soon as she drops. So yeah, look forward to that. And then we have Pantheon. Now, I told you about 2 new champions that are gonna shake up the meta a lot, right? Well, Pantheon is gonna take the cake. He is absolutely insane. His reworked kit, like, he used to be way different back in the days of old PC League of Legends, but the kit that we're getting is his reworked kit, and it's so insane, okay? So first of all, his most iconic ability is his ultimate, where he can just jump into the air and he has like a think of a Twisted Fate ult, okay? It's not a global teleport, but it has a lot of range, so you can jump to other lanes, and you just drop in a huge AoE damage, and you slow everybody as well. So it's gonna be crazy. He's gonna have a lot of roam potential. I honestly think this champion will be able to fill every single position except for marksman. And that's how crazy he is. He was played jungle on PC League of Legends, he was played top and mid at some points, and he was very prominently played in the support position last year. And depends on what his numbers are gonna be, how much damage he's gonna deal, we might see everything, okay? And yeah, his second most iconic ability, I would say, is his first ability, his Q, which just sends out a spear that can also crit, and it just does so much damage. As you can see, he has also a shield where he can block. It's like a Braum shield. Man, he's crazy, bro. He's absolutely insane. Definitely looking forward to him. I feel like in Wild Rift, he might be mostly played as a mid-end jungler. Again, it depends on his damage. If his damage is completely bad, or if his scalings are really terrible, he will just go support, he will just bully that lane, he will just have that Braum shield, and yeah, he's gonna be insane. So definitely look forward to that one. Now, this is already it with the 3 new champs. We have a little bit of a sneak peek of a Dark Valkyrie Diana here. It's one of the skins that she will come with. Let me just translate these little names here. First of all, we're of course getting the new project skins. Ashe, Leona, Vi, Yasuo, and Zed. So Leona already getting that drip, very nice for her. We have the Infernal Diana, we have the Dark Valkyrie Diana, as I said here. Infernal is just the fire skin, it's very clean though. We have a Dragon Slayer Pantheon, that is probably going to be his best skin. Full Metal Pantheon is also really good though, it's like a, yeah, metal design, looks really cool. And then we have Grill Master Leona, which is really funny. She has like a little cooking hat. It's cute, it's cute. But yeah, very nice. They're spoiling us with the new releases. 3 new champions, lots of great new skins, but also the new event, of course, you can see here. The Ascension, Path to Ascension event is coming during this patch at some point. But now let's check out the balance changes, guys, because honestly, whew, man, guys, it's a little bit of a struggle reading through these, but some of them are great, but some of them are, they're okay, they're not the best. The biggest issue is a lot of them are missing. We are again not getting an Orianna nerf, and I don't know if you watch my streams, guys, but if you do, the only thing I'm playing against is what's it called? Is Orianna in the mid lane. Like, it's crazy. It's such a broken champion. And there's lots of other broken stuff right now as well, but not all of them are getting hit. But the changes that are in it are pretty good. But let's check them out. First of all, we're getting a nice little Aurelion Sol Nerf, especially in the early game. Now, I agree with this. Aurelion Sol, I keep telling you guys, I think he is very, very strong. I think he's a little bit OP still. He definitely deserves some nerfs. I know you don't see him as much as Orianna, but honestly, for solo queue, I think he's a tier above Orianna because he has that roaming potential and his damage is just crazy. Now, I don't really agree with how they're going about it. I always say, I think the late game damage of Aurelion Sol is insane. Well, they're going to be nerfing his early game damage. They're going to be nerfing it on his passive. Late game, it's going to be exactly the same, 130 per star hit. But early game, they are going down 18 to 15, 26 to 21. It keeps going up and up. And then in the middle, it keeps going down and down. So the damage reduction is going to be less and less the later the game goes on until it hits the same value of 130. So again, this is to nerf his early game wave clear. So he can't roam as much, which honestly is fine. I agree with that. And honestly, the passive change, you know, late game, you're not going to be hitting anyone with your passive anyway. A lot of times you're going to be using your second ability to make it bigger, and that has its own damage. But that brings me to the next change. That's also getting nerfed, okay? Early game, huge nerfs. Level 1, it's going to be the same. Level 2, it's going to go down by 3, and then it keeps going down more and more, from 45 to 39 at level 3, and it keeps going down more and more and more. So you will really struggle a little bit with the wave clear, especially in around mid game. But late game, again, not a nerf, in fact even a buff. 165 to 170 damage in the late game per star hit on his second ability. Now the thing about this is, I feel like they should have nerfed the late game as well a little bit. I understand the early game nerfs, but the late game is still, especially if you crit, you know, like a 5 increase is not going to do too much. That is not a big deal, but it should have been like a 10 decrease or something, or a 15 decrease. Maybe 15 would be too much, but I really feel like Aurelion Sol is a little bit too strong still. This will definitely help a little bit. He's definitely going to be weaker now. He's also going to be much more easy to bully him in lane, especially if you're playing Fizz or Katarina. You guys know I love these matchups. I completely bop the Aurelion Sol every single time. You just jump on him and he can't do anything because you're melee range, you know? He just can't get you away from him before he has his ult. But yeah, that also brings me to the next. My segues are insane today. Brings me to the next change. His ultimate cooldown is also going up by a lot. It is a 15-second increase, level 1. So his early game is definitely getting hit by a lot here, okay? So like if you waste that ult when you hit level 5 in maybe a 1v1, maybe the Z jumps on you and you have to waste it to get him away, well, you won't have it for the dragon fight most of the time now. So it's definitely a pretty good early game nerf. Again though, late game only a 5-second increase, which is nice. But yeah, I guess they just want to keep him a late game strong pick. Oh, it's fine by me. And they just want to cripple his early game a lot. So you really have to make that conscious decision. When you pick Aurelion Sol that you know you're going to be weak early and you want to scale into the late game, as opposed to right now he's pretty good early and he's just insane late game. So I guess it makes sense. It makes sense. But yeah, I feel like the second ability can get some more nerfs in the future, but we'll see about that. Anyway, I definitely think with these changes, Aurelion Sol will still be very, very good. He will still be great as a mid lane pick, especially for solo queue. In esports, he might not get banned anymore, but we'll definitely still see pics of him. If you guys don't know, he is permabanned in esports right now. But something else to keep in mind, we'll see another change later on at the end of this video that will also impact him a little bit with tower defenses early game. But yeah, I'll touch upon it as soon as we get there. But definitely, if you're a Aurelion Sol main, don't worry. You can still play him. He's still going to be absolutely great. Maybe not a clear S tier, maybe just an S tier, maybe just a low S tier. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how these changes pan out. Moving on to Soraka. She's getting much needed buff. She is honestly not that great. She's not terrible. She's very underrated in terms of everyone thinks she's a hot piece of garbage, bruv. But honestly, she is not that garbage. She's just not great. Okay, she's okay. And they want her to be a little bit more than okay. And yeah, they're gonna be buffing her healing. On the second ability, the base healing is going to go up, especially at later stages. You can see it's level 1, it's still the same. So her laning won't be impacted as much early game, but as soon as you max that ability, you will have a 30 HP increase per heal. So that's pretty good. And also the big one, I think, because usually the third ability is something you max last, and they are exactly buffing the cooldown by 3 seconds at level 1, and it scales down to be 6 seconds at maximum rank in the late game, essentially. But as I said, you max this ability last, so it is really good to have that 3 seconds shaved off cooldown for pretty much almost the entire game, because yeah, until the very late game. Because you're a support, you're going to be under-leveled anyway, so that's very nice changes. Is it going to make Soraka OP? No. Also keep in mind, they're introducing Leona. Leona, you know, if you guys don't know, healing support and enchanter support is hard countered by engaged supports. So there's just something more to bop this Soraka around now. So I don't think she's going to be great. She's going to be a little bit better though. She's going to be a little bit more playable. And yeah, if you like to play Soraka, I honestly already recommend you to play her. I think she's pretty good for solo queue, especially. You use that ult, you have that global, you can save someone all the way across from downtown, you know. He doesn't even notice you're saving him. You can save your little baboons in solo queue when you're not even there with your ultimate. So that's always powerful to have. So I think she's honestly not a bad pick. Just not esports top tier, you know, where people in esports are gonna, you know, if they can pick Janna, if they can pick Lulu, if they can pick Alistar, they're not gonna pick a Soraka. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, definitely you'll feel it a little bit. It will feel good if you are a Soraka main. Moving on to Tristana. She is getting a little bit of a buff as well. Again, very needed. I think she is still, even after her huge buff that she got, she's still kind of garbo, okay? To put it bluntly. They will actually buff her mana. Her mana per level, she will have around about 100, she will have exactly 112 mana more at level 15. So, of course, early game she will have some more as well, because per level you will be gaining 9 more, 41 instead of 33, which is 8 more. Quick maths. Hey. But yeah, it's not gonna do a lot. She's still gonna be meh. You know, I feel like what they have to hit her with is a base attack speed buff. Because her attack speed is just so low, it's so hard to apply these 4 auto attacks or 3 auto attacks and then jump onto the enemy with the rocket jump to explode that third ability, that explosive charge, you know? That is the big issue that she is facing. So, of course, if she can spam that ability a little bit more because she has more mana available, it's definitely a good thing. But I don't think it's enough. Same with the next change as well. They're going to be buffing the slow duration, which is actually pretty nice, on her rocket jump from 1 to 1.5 and all the way from 2.5 to 3 seconds at maximum rank. So yeah, you will have a 0.5 second longer slow duration if you jump onto the enemy, which again is very nice because it's going to allow you to easier stack up that explosive charge, get to those 4 stacks. The thing is, again, it's just not enough, I feel like, because at the end of the day, she still loses almost every lane. It's really hard to lane with Tristana. Again, I honestly think she's much better in the mid lane or even in the barrel lane than she is in the marksman position, in the dual lane. So yeah, it's definitely going to help her mid laning as well. But we'll have to see. I don't think she's going to be S tier or anything crazy like that. I think she's still going to be sitting at her comfortable average marksman position where, yeah, she can do some serious damage if you get her to late game, but it is a very difficult task. Moving on to Yasuo. Now, this one is a big one. This one is the one that I'm a little bit worried about. As you guys know, I really like to play Yasuo, and these changes are a little bit worrisome. The thing about Yasuo is, after his Blade of the Rune King, after the Blade of the Rune King change, he deals way too much damage now because 9% current health on Yasuo, right, per auto attack instead of 6%. It doesn't matter if you nerf the base attack damage by 10 of the Blade of the Rune King. Yasuo loves it so much. He auto attack, Q auto attacks, right, in like 1 second, and that is 27% current health. Quick maths, you know? That's crazy, bro. That's absolutely insane. So they are nerfing him here. Finally, definitely think he deserved a nerf. It was long overdue. Is he still gonna be insane? I'm not sure. The thing that worries me here, they're not nerfing his damage, which is the most obvious thing to nerf, right? They want to keep his insane damage, which is honestly way too much. But they're nerfing his tankiness here. Which is okay. This is a good nerf. He is a little bit too tanky, especially with that shield. They're nerfing his base armor from 40 to 35. Now you're like, sure, cool. He lanes against mages most of the time in the mid lane. Yes, he does. However, the mages also should attack him. They should still throw some basic attacks at him. Even something like Katarina, if you guys watch my gameplay, I jump in on him, I attack him a couple times, you know, proc these daggers, and it adds up. So these 5 armor nerf is gonna add up to quite a bit. It's definitely gonna be, you're gonna feel it facing him, you're gonna feel it when playing him as well. On top of that, his base health is also getting nerfed by a whopping 80, 650 to 570. That is a lot. That is, again, that's like 2 auto attacks, you know? You need 2 less auto attacks to kill him at level 1. I don't know, it seems this is gonna do more than it seems like on paper. But then, this is the big one, okay? His third ability, his dash, is getting completely You know, these are the changes I don't like, but let's check it out. The speed at which he jumps is getting nerfed. So from 1.2 thousand plus his move speed, it goes down to 900 plus his move speed, okay? So his dash is going to be a lot slower now. When his dash is slower, the next dash is of course also slower, right? Like, how crazy is Yasuo? Whenever you play against Yasuo, he's just dashing around in these minion waves, he's dashing around in these team fights, and you, in lane, if you're laning against him, he dashes onto the minion, Qs you, and dashes back instantly, and you can't even do anything, it's so fast. Well, that is getting nerfed. That's a good nerf. If you're playing against him, it introduces a lot more counterplay. The thing is, it might just make him way less fun to play. And that's what's worrying me. We might see a lot of Yasuo mains just quitting Yasuo because he's still gonna be very strong. His damage is still insane, but he just might not be as fun anymore. And I'll test him out. This will be the first change I will test out as soon as the patch drops. And yeah, we'll see if I'm worrying too much here, if maybe this is not as big as it seems, 1.2k to 900. I don't know. We'll have to test it in game. But yeah, I definitely think he's still going to be strong. If you're a huge Yasuo fan, you might have less fun with him, but you will still be able to honestly abuse him. I think he's still going to be S tier, but we'll have to see about it. Maybe not S tier because along with the armor nerf, you know, you're going to be able to return a lot more damage during that laning phase to him when he's dashing into you because it's slower and he's squishier. So we'll see, but he's definitely still going to be one of the strong champions. He's definitely a champion that you can still use in solo queue. Moving on to Ziggs. He's getting a very interesting rebalance, which is the best change in this patch, honestly. This is a great change. This is a smart change. This is we can be proud of Riot with that one. Because look at this. His second ability is getting nerfed. His you know how he can just throw his satchel charge onto the tower when it's low and just instantly explode it? Well, this is going to be nerfed a little bit. 5% of the tower health per level threshold where you can do that is going to go down. So at level 1, you could do it at 25% of tower health left. You can just throw that second ability, explode it, tower is gone. Now it's going to be 20%, and at max rank 40% to 35. So 5% per level. And yeah, that is a good change. That is an esports change. Because in solo queue, no one really abuses that much. It is very abusable, but people don't really do it. In esports, they rotate that little Bond boy, you know, the little squirrel. They just rotate him all the time to the lanes and they just explode these towers. And it is honestly a little bit broken. So they are nerfing that. They're giving him a little bit of a buff though, in exchange, which honestly just buffs him in general. Just a big Ziggs buff for someone like me who plays Ziggs in solo queue. It's honestly crazy good, and I keep telling you guys, I think his ultimate is too small, it's too hard to hit, it is ridiculous. It's just, I don't know. Well, they're buffing the AoE of it all across the board. They're buffing the middle area by 0.5 and the outer area by 1 range. So it's going to be just much bigger now, okay? It's going to be huge now. It's going to be much easier to hit, and you will still be able to dodge it easily with a flash or with any dashing ability. So don't you worry about that. But you won't just be able to walk out of it anymore, which is honestly great. I think Ziggs is going to be insane. I think he's already very strong. So hey, buy him if you like him, practice him. He's going to be one of the premier picks, I would say, for solo queue. Because again, Orianna is nerfed, and he's good against her. So you will see a lot of Oriannas, and you can just counter pick. It's not really the biggest counter, but you can do well against her. So honestly, Ziggs is going to be one of the shining stars of this new patch. Moving on to Gegenstände, which is items. Where? We already talked about Orianna no nerf. Where is the Akali nerf, bruv? Akali is perma-pick ban in esports. She's perma-pick, first pick in Challenger Elos now. What are you doing right? She is crazy, man. Seriously. I don't know. We need Akali nerfs. She is way too strong. Mid lane, she's actually only A tier. She's not insane. But Baron lane, she is triple S, man. It's way too insane, okay? Because of course, against melee matchups, she can just poke them constantly with the passive, with Q passive. It's so strong. No one can lane against her. They need to nerf that passive auto attack damage. What I would recommend, I hope they will do that. But yeah, little rant over. Moving on to the items. They are going to be nerfing the Locket once again. They're going to be raising the price to 800 gold, the shielding Locket enchant on the boots, to 800 gold, so the same tier as Quicksilver Sash, Teleport, and Zhonya's, which is crazy, right? It's one of those top tier things now, which is very big struggle for support champions. They probably won't be able to buy it anymore before the first dragon. So yeah, is definitely a very well-deserved nerf though, because everyone is spamming this enchant anyway. Even though it got nerfed that you can't stack it anymore as much, they still just built 5 of them per team. It's ridiculous. It's also a very brain-dead enchant, so it's super easy to use, so I'm a big fan of nerfing it. They're also going to be nerfing the shield by a lot. Early game, the base shield is going to go down from... hold up, let me see. I didn't do the quick maths, but as you can see here by these values, it's going down from 140 to 70 at early stages, and then it's going still going to be 420 at maximum level, but the scaling is also going to be changed to have way less early scaling. But what I assume here with this little buff per level scaling from 20 to 25 is you're going to have a very similar value in the late game. But early game, that is just a huge nerf, okay? That is just absolutely crazy. Yeah. Oh, hold up, I'm stupid. Yeah. This is just the values that they did here. Yeah. These are the values. So early game it's going to be 140, from 140 to 70, and then it scales up slowly but surely again to have the same late game value of 420, which is still insane, still gonna be crazy strong. But early game, you won't just be, you'll be able to dive that dual lane, okay? They won't just be insanely tanky. So that's good. Definitely good fan of that. Still gonna be premier choice for supports, because they usually, the enchanter supports especially, they go for that Ardent Sensor. So if you pop that Locket enchant, you apply Ardent Sensor to your whole team. It's just insane, okay? Moving on to runes, okay? They're nerfing a rune, and they're finally nerfing Conqueror. They're finally nerfing Conqueror, guys. I can't believe it. People were crying for this to get nerfed for so long, and they're finally going to be nerfing it. Let's check it out. The AP per stack is going from 4 to 12, okay, depending on the level of the champion, to 3 to 9, okay? And remember, you have 5 of these stacks, so this is a pretty good nerf, especially early game. Instead of 20 free ability power, you will be getting 15. And then on top of that, you, of course, when you fully explode it, when you get those 5 stacks, you get some more. It's still gonna be crazy good, I think, but this is definitely a good step into the right direction. Keep in mind though, this also nerfs Yasuo, because usually he goes for that 99% of the games. So this is also a Yasuo nerf. So you always have to be careful with, this is also a Orianna nerf, that's good. It's also a Katarina nerf, so I'm sad. But yeah, it is what it is. I might actually go Electrocute on Katarina now, but I feel like on stuff like Aurelion Sol, Orianna, Yasuo, you still want to go for that. There were some Z players that... hold up, it's only ability power. I am so stupid, bro. It doesn't nerf Yasuo, never mind. It nerfs Katarina though, damn it. Man, Riot, what is wrong with you? Okay, never mind, I'm gonna stop yapping here. But yeah, it's a pretty good little nerf for Orianna and Aurelion Sol. So Aurelion Sol is getting hit twice. Very dangerous. Moving on, there's a second nerf here. Bonus adaptive damage when you hit the max stacks. 10% for ranged champions to 7% for ranged champions. So again, this is honestly a huge Orianna nerf. But at least my Katarina is not a ranged champion, so she's not getting nerfed with this one at least. But Orianna is getting nerfed, Aurelion Sol even more now though. This is crazy. 7% only. Like these two things in combination with his early game nerf definitely are gonna knock Aurelion Sol down a notch here. So it's good. It's not good in the context of no Orianna nerf. That's the issue. Aurelion Sol is OP. He is not as stupidly, insanely broken as something like Orianna though, most likely. Like in general, right? Of how, in terms of how much counterplay you have, because you can easily bop him in lane, you can counter him even the way he is right now, even a couple patches ago when he was completely God mode broken. And yeah, the change is good, but not in the context of Orianna not also getting nerfed harder. But at least we have, in the end, a little bit of a indirect Orianna nerf with this Conqueror nerf. So we'll see. Definitely think it's still going to be a great rune for a lot of champions. I really think it should have also gotten nerfed for ranged champions in terms of physical damage. On the attack damage here a little bit, because every marksman uses it. There's almost no variety, right? Only Vayne and the Jhin use Fleet Footwork, and everyone else pretty much uses Conqueror. I mean, it's... I feel like we could have nerfed it a little bit more, but this is a good start into the right direction. If you use Conqueror, try it out. These are some pretty complex changes, I have to test these things before I can tell you if it's just gonna be completely useless. Like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go Electrocute on Katarina now. We'll have to see. But yeah, definitely something to test. If you feel that it's nerfed too much, you'll be able to make changes. But yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely more so worried about that Aurelion Sol, because I still like playing him every once in a while, so we'll see. Moving on, there's some tower changes as well, and there's some that aren't even in these patch notes, but I have them in an email sent to me afterwards because they were added last minute, and honestly, huge fan of them. But they will be mostly esports. This one, however, this won't be only esports. They're changing the backdoor tankiness of the damage, of the towers. So when you don't have minions, that's what's called to backdoor. When you're attacking a tower or a nexus without minions, that is getting buffed. Okay, so the damage reductions that tower get from this backdoor, from no minions nearby, was 66%, but after 18 minutes, it was 33%, okay? So now they're just gonna be putting it to 66% at all stages. Guys, you've seen it so many times in your own games probably as well, where your Nexus is exposed and it's past 18 minutes, no minions nearby, you're clearing those waves beautifully, but suddenly the Nasus flashes over the wall, he has 3 teleports coming on top of him, and the enemy is just backdoor, and you feel so annoyed, and you feel you want to quit the game. It is so annoying. Well, that is going to help alleviate that. I feel like it could still be a little bit tankier, because you're still going to be able to do that if you have a couple champions coming in with a teleport, but we'll have to see, we'll have to test it, but definitely a good start. Now, the changes that were emailed to me, huge tower changes, okay? And I think for us solo queue players, it won't do a lot. It won't really change the game a lot. But this is an esports change, I think. If you guys checked my esports videos, you saw that there was a lot of lane swapping. Dual lane going to the Baron lane, and then you have a 2v1 top, 2v1 bottom. And it's for more favorable lane matchups and stuff. But the only way this works is if both dual lanes just clear the tower, and then they swap again, clear the tower, okay? So if you can push down the towers early game, then you can really get an advantage out of that as the team initiating the lane swap. That's what I think they want to stop, because these are exactly similar changes that we had in PC League of Legends, I think in season 4 or 3 I would say, where there was a lot of lane swapping in esports, not at all in solo queue though, maybe in Challenger, but probably not. But then they made these towers tankier early game, and then no one did it anymore. And since then, you pretty much can't really do that anymore, unless it's very like very weird scenarios where the matchups are just crazy. But yeah, let me read those changes real quick. So what's basically going to happen is, it's a lot of numbers, but basically early game, all towers are going to be tankier except for the dual lane tower. Okay? The dual lane tower is going to be squishy as always, just like right now. But all the other towers, mid and Baron lane towers, are going to be tankier. So as the team initiating the lane swap, you suddenly can't do that anymore because you have a dual lane in the Baron lane trying to knock down that tower, but it has 50 armor more or 40 armor more, something like that, at level 1. You know what I mean? It's actually, yeah, it's 50 armor more, excuse me. It's 50 armor more at level 1, okay? So before the 3-minute mark. So now you can't take down that tower, but the team that is normally laning, you know, in their dual lane, they will knock down the tower and now they have an advantage, right? So you can't initiate lane swaps anymore. Riot really always wants to force these lane matchups because a big thing about League of Legends is the laning. You have these 2v2 matchups, you have these 1v1 matchups, and you don't want Olaf to be laning against dual lane. You want Olaf to be laning against Akali and then battling it out among each other. That's more fun to watch. That's more fun to play. It's a lot more skill cap. So it makes sense, right? It's a perfect change. And also, during the first 3 minutes, the towers from now on are gonna get huge, and I mean huge, armor and magic resistance buffs when multiple champions are nearby. For example, 3 champions nearby, boom, 100 bonus armor and magic resistance. 5 champions around that tower, so if you're trying to cheese something with a Ziggs or something, and we just want to rotate all 5 members mid and just knock down that tower, well, 300 bonus armor and magic resistance before 3 minutes. So it's going to be pretty much impossible to do any type of cheese gameplay where it's just, you know, you catch the enemies off guard. So yeah, that is pretty much it. That is it for these changes. We have some chat stuff where they're going to ban people better for being toxic. And we have the free champion rotations here for the next 2 weeks. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like I was a little bit too in depth, you know. I feel like it was a little bit too long than it had to be. But yeah, let me know. Please give me some criticism if it was. And as always, make sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave an algorithmic comment if you don't have any feedback to give me to support the channel. And yeah, also let me know if you guys are mad about this patch because there's no Akali nerfs, there's no Oriana nerfs, stuff like that. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.